please check out the description. Or that description, actually. Because there's a lot of free things that you can get. First of all, there is the link to the podcast, because this is actually a podcast and a YouTube quote-unquote show. On the other hand, you're also going to get 3 things, as I said. For example, the free PDFs of the things that I've highlighted in this episode or in other episodes. If I've highlighted something, then it is going to be in a tiny PDF. You can download it and print it and share it and do whatever with it. And there is everything in this that I've gone through in this episode, which is pretty amazing, because some people like to listen, therefore we're having a podcast. Some people like to watch, therefore we're having the YouTube videos. And some other people like to read things. And this is why there's also the free PDF. And there's as well some music, so if you do want to have some background music in this video, then please also check out the 3rd link, or it's actually, I think, the 4th link, but 3rd section, something like that. And there's also just different tracks to choose from, and they're all, I think, an hour long, so you should be fine. Everything should be fine, should be good to go. And yeah, enjoy the episode, and I'm gonna see you. So, hello, welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. Today we're once again going through some Reddit questions, as maybe yesterday and or the day before. I don't actually know. I forget about these things quite somehow or something. But yeah, I'm gonna see you after the intro, as always, and we'll see, what questions there are gonna be. I really hope that there's gonna be good questions, but I've scrolled through it a little tiny bit and I saw a few cool ones, but of course there's always gonna be just so much shitty ones and so much good ones. Yeah, I'm gonna see you. And I really am looking forward to recording this. And I'm actually standing again, because I think actually standing is a little tiny bit better, even though my foot is still a little bit fucked. I don't actually know why. It is maybe, I don't know what the English word is, but it is Sehne in German. That I fucked that a little bit. So it's nothing having to do with muscles and shit, but it's something else, which is a little bit bothering me. There's always some kind of tension there, which is not nice. And it always feels like, okay, please be a little bit conscious about just moving too much and stuff, because you could fuck yourself quite. But yeah, as you can see on the left side, here is the Reddit feed, or my Reddit feed. Therefore, in the description, there's never ever actually kind of gonna be some subreddits that I'm gonna link down, because I'm most often on my home feed. And of course, I could just link down the separate ones, but yeah, or I could say it so that you know what I'm referring to and talking about and moving like. But yeah, the first question and or statement, I'm never ever sure, because often there are statements. Looks like I'm not getting a job this summer. What are some great online programs to get some certificates or certifications on my resume? I'm not sure. I've actually seen this question before, and I thought well, there's actually a bunch of good sites for courses and a bunch of good sites for all sorts of different things. There's also a lot of free courses also by the MIT, also I think Harvard as well, kind of. But the MIT is sure that there is some courses on whatever the fuck they're doing. I don't know. But there's also Coursera. There's also, there's actually really a lot. And they are pretty good as well. And they are free. So it's a pretty cool thing. Even though I also have to say, I don't know if it is also kind of better if you're just having to pay for it. Because then you're probably going to stick to it a little bit more than if it is free. But it is definitely something that you have to decide for yourself. But on the other hand, something completely different is why? Why do you really want to have some certificate or some certifications for your resume? Of course, I believe, and I've also been talking about this to other people, the whole resume stuff. I want to do this and I want to do that because of my resume, but I'm never actually quite sure about that. I think that, especially when we are, for example, talking about graphic design stuff, of course, it is pretty cool if you've studied at this university and if you've studied at that university and if you've just been working abroad and stuff. It's always going to be good. It's always going to look good. But in the end, if you're shitty at what you're doing, nobody's going to employ you. And nobody's actually also willing to employ you because you're fucking shit. And I don't really know if there is some kind of a correlation between certifications and or your skill, because I don't really think so. You could really put a lot of time into just getting better at whatever you're doing, getting better at your craft, get better at just designing, writing, communicate, whatever it might be. And I think this in the end would actually be better if they really see that you've already also done something, which is, I think, the best thing you can ever do for your quote-unquote resume. If you can say to people okay, if it is about I don't know, some finances or just I don't know. Actually, let's just take the sign because it's a little bit easier for me. If you say like, okay, I did this campaign for this non-profit for free, you know, which is something that you apparently can do. I've been hearing people talking about that, mostly Seth Godin actually. I haven't had a look at this, but you somehow can. You know, you can just start with your own money, of course. In the end, start a campaign for this non-profit that you really like, or you can also just try to raise some money for a profit or non-profit that you really like, you know. And if you can say to your employer, okay, I've done this, I've made this, also like a YouTube channel, also like just something else that you can proudly say, I've done that, it's always going to be good. So in the end, I'm not quite sure about the whole certificate thing, and my nose is like tingling as fuck. I'm sorry, it really is. Yeah, I think building something and being able to show people something is a tiny bit better, even though on one hand, I don't really know how this is kind of, if you can do that in every singular job or in every singular job thing, you know, I don't know. I really don't. Today I learned that in Buddhism, 1 ion is the amount of time it takes to completely erode a huge rock 16 by 16 by 16 miles in size by brushing it with a silk cloth once a century. What the fuck? Not having anything against Buddhism. I think it's actually a pretty interesting thing, and we've also been talking about it in religion, in our religion, how should I say, subject in school. So we are having that. I know that not a lot of countries are having that, and not every country is having that, but we are having that. But most often, this is really thanks to my teacher. We are not talking about like, I don't know, God is the best and stuff like that. It is more or less like, okay, this is what this religion says, this is what that religion says, this is what they do, this is what we do. And it is also about analyzing things, you know. In one of the unfortunately last lessons that we had, we have analyzed the fairy tale of Hänsel und Gretchen. I don't know what the fuck it is in English, but it's pretty interesting to see that. And he's a really smart dude, and he's a really good teacher, and it's just an incredible person. And I'm really thankful that I'm not having a fucking woozle-doozle religion teacher. Okay, let's pray all day long. Even though I'm not having anything against that. Like, if this is what I should be doing, then I don't know if I'm gonna do, but you know, I'm open for a lot of things, you know, because if I just say before I even do it, well, I'm not gonna do that, then I in the end don't really know if I like it or not, you know. It's not a good thing. I've also seen something for all the people that are really interested in typography. Somebody found a good tutorial on something like, it is definitely something that really looks cool, and it is definitely also something that a lot of people don't know how to make. It is a Photoshop tutorial, so I might link down this link in the description. I think it is a pretty cool one, and you might also learn just some other techniques and other things for other projects which might kind of look similar to this one, or you want to look similar to this one. Even though like doing everything in Photoshop is never ever quite just the best thing, especially when it is about printing things. Then you really have to think also about the quality and whether you can then print it or not. But yeah. Something else that's pretty interesting was, today I learned Kelsey Grammer was the first actor to be nominated for the Emmy, or for an Emmy award, for the same character on 3 different series: Wings, Cheers and Frasier. He played Dr. Frasier Crane, he played Dr. Frasier, Crane on Wings, and Cheers and Frasier. Not quite sure, I haven't had a look at any of these series. You know, I'm really not a big series guy. The only few things that I've most often started were animes, quite. You know, as a child, I've been looking and watching a really huge amount of animes, from Yu-Gi-Oh! To Naruto to what are they called? Just some soccer animes, which I've really liked. Since I've also been playing soccer, I've just really been a fan of that. And the funny thing actually is, one of these characters that I've really liked in the anime, or whatever, I have actually taken his back number as my own number in the game, and I've had it for, I don't know, 3 years, 2 years, something like that, till I've actually stopped playing soccer, unfortunately, actually. It's really an unfortunate thing, because I wasn't that bad, you know, I really wasn't. I've also started then, I think 2 years ago again, and we've kind of been relatively successful, but I'm just not that good anymore, you know. But I think this is just understandable after like 5 years of not playing just competitively, only in school and stuff. And at this point in time, I'm fortunately not playing just anytime, because at this point in time it's a little bit like too cold outside. If I'm gonna have the opportunity once again in the summer, if it is then hopefully gonna be working, then I'm I might have a look and just try it once again, because trying in terms of playing a little bit more on my own and just in my leisure time as well, because I really like this game. I really like this. Unemployed and in lockdown, what online courses should I do to upskill? I would definitely say everything that has something to do with communication, because being able to communicate whatever the fuck you're thinking about and being able to communicate all the thoughts that you're having is always going to be a good thing. It's also going to be a really valuable skill that you can acquire, and it's always going to be good no matter what you're doing, no matter what job you're going to have in the future, no matter what you're going to do in the future. Being able to communicate in a very clear and distinctive way is always going to be nice. It's always going to be a huge thing. Something that Warren Buffett said, something that a lot of other people said. And I would also argue that a lot of great leaders that we're having, they're communicating really clearly. And also, of course, like authors, they kind of maybe have to. But I would also argue that those leaders have to, because if their employees don't understand what the fuck they want from them, it's no good. It's what should they do then? It's a little bit of a difficult thing then. The next one. I have no idea what is wrong with me, but I want to change it. Then change it, because you can. I don't want to say that it is easy. It is simple, but it's really not easy. As actually so many things. So many things are simple, but not really easy, like just losing weight, gaining weight, building muscle, building a business, and all those things. Like in theory, just on paper, it is not that of a difficult thing. It of course depends on who you are, what you're willing to do, and all different sorts of factors. But it is just not easy, because it takes willpower, it takes energy, it takes resources in general, money as well, and all those things. So it's not going to be that easy. Today I learned cats do not need to blink on a regular basis to keep their eyes lubricated. Unblinking eyes are probably an advantage when hunting. Not only probably, but I think it is. Cats will, however, squint their eyes, usually as a form of communication, expressing affection and ease around another cat or human. The more I know. I'm actually a little bit feared of cats, to be honest. My girlfriend has a cat and it is always sitting in the toilet, and always when I'm on the toilet or in the toilet, well, basically, am I in the toilet? Or does it mean that I'm just inside of it? I'm on the toilet. Let's put it like this. I'm on the toilet, but in the restroom. I think that's how you say it, actually. So when I'm on the toilet, there's always the cat next to me, and I'm always having to watch whatever the fuck she's doing or he's actually doing, because I'm feared, I'm actually kind of feared that if I just stand up again, to just take my pants and shit, that this cat is gonna just jump to my ding dong and just tackle it. I really am feared of that. I always have to think about that. Like, what is going to happen if this is happening? I do first of all think that I'm going to lose a lot of blood if it's got just getting ripped off and shit. And my later life is going to be quite shitty because of numerous reasons that you can't just imagine, I guess. I would like to read a book from every country. What is your favorite book from your native country? Well, this is actually a good question. One of the best books that I've read and I've actually listened to, unfortunately as a pirated audiobook, don't fuck me, yeah, I done this, was Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl is actually an Austrian-born person, so I would say that this counts as a book from my native country, from Austria. I'd say, I would say. Today I learned that it is a federal crime in the United States to ask for political contributions from people known to be received relief through an act of Congress. What the fuck? Candle holders made to watch the customer's face. It just really reminds me on these pictures that, or where you can actually see two things. First of all the face, and second of all, like really such a lamp thingy thing, and or something else. I don't know if this is that good of a business idea, even though it is in a subreddit business idea. No, please don't. No, thank you. For anyone interested, I made simplified stoicism cheat sheet. Stoicism cheat sheet. Well, that's pretty cool. Should I actually check it out? I'm not quite sure. There's not going to be a link, I guess, because you are not... Oh, there is actually. This helped me to conceptualize stoicism, from a bird's eye view. I like this a whole lot, said somebody. And it is a picture, and it is on Google Drive. It's also not really that ugly, Of course, it is like, how should I say? Like, it is something that you're gonna see often, this quote-unquote style, I'd say. But I think this is actually a pretty interesting thing. It looks interesting. Can I please not zoom for a second? Can I please? Okay. Can I? I just want to have a look at just the whole one, please. Oh, thank you. I have to be really close, and you're probably also not going to see it. Virtue is the only good. Virtue is blah blah blah. Stoic fundamentalist physics, the study of natural world and metaphysics. Ethics, the study of how to live one's life. And logic, the study of reasoning, epistemology, and language. And there's then going to be the discipline of desire, the discipline of action, and the discipline of assent. Under the discipline of desire is accepting our fate as necessary and inevitable. Then under the discipline of action is living in harmony with humanity and helping others flourish. And then there's going to be monitoring value judgments for proper thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. And there's also going to be, can I please, motherfucker, should I? Okay. I would actually like to end the episode there, but I kind of have to go through this. Stoic practices, memento mori, or actually memento mori, maybe, I don't know, a reflection of the impermanent nature of life, dichotomy of control, understanding what is and isn't in your control, negative visualization, imagining your fears to instill resilience and foster gratitude, amor fati, a love of fate or radically accepting events as they unfold, view from above, envisioning oneself in the third person to put one's problem in perspective, which is a really important one. Like, all of them are really good, but yeah. Contemplation of the sage, imagining and emulating the ideal person. Ideal is, such a good word. Voluntary discomfort, placing ourselves in uncomfortable situations for greater appreciation and refining of character. And I think this is unfortunately something that we're all doing at this point in time. Like, there's a lot of things we're not able to do right now. And when we're able to do them again, then there's gonna be a lot of gangbang outside there. I'm gonna promise you. I don't know if I should just cut out pornographic words and stuff. If I have, you know what I've maybe been referring to. Not preferring, but referring to. And the last one is gonna morning and nightly reflection. Reflecting on the day ahead and analyzing how one lived up to their stoic ideal. Then there's gonna be classic stoic authors, Marcus Aurelius, really classic one, Epictetus also, and Seneca as well. But yeah, the question of today actually is, if I can. The question of today is, do you practice, quote unquote, practice Stoicism? And if you don't, you might just have a look at it, because it is, I think, an amazing philosophy to, at this point in time as well, live by. Even though it is so fucking old, I think it still works, and I think it is still having a lot of great ideas and a lot of great thoughts that can really upgrade your life in a really positive sense. But yeah, I think this is gonna be the end of the episode. I've actually not wanted to record so long. I might just be making the other one a little shorter. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna see you the next time. So I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success. And I'm gonna and I really hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and basically means just being a nice person, then being remembered as a nice person. And yeah, that being said, 3 questions that I'm having for you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? With that being said, I'm hopefully going to see you the next time, and bye bye. Thank you. Really, really, really thank you from the bottom of my fucking ass. Tremendous thanks.